What's up, guys? It's your boy, Barca Boy 103. Today we're going to be reacting to a video by Gold90 on Barcelona's latest signing in Roony Bardghji and how immense his talent is and why he is a perfect signing for Barcelona following recently the club's decision to let him join the first team pre-season tour and to have a potential impact and a potential place in the first team next season. We had to talk about his integration, where he plays, how he plays, his movement, his style, how he fits, where he fits, and why he could potentially be a perfect signing for Barcelona. But before we get into it, of course, make sure you guys smash the likes down below and do not forget to subscribe as well if you haven't already, and let's get right into it.
Guys, Barcelona have just added another teenage wonder kid to their attack, and honestly, opponents should be very scared because this guy is about to take the entire world by storm. But we know that not many of you have any idea who this kid is or what he is capable of. So let's talk about him. This is why Barcelona signed Roony Bardghji. First of all, with that name, this dude was certainly destined for greatness from the very beginning.
Same spelling,
even though it is spelt slightly differently. The last time football saw a teenage wonder kid named Roony, who was also an attacker, he went on to dominate world football and become one of the biggest legends the game has ever seen. So that's definitely a good start for the new Barcelona man. Roony Bardghji was born in Kuwait City, Kuwait on November 15th, 2005 to a Syrian family. His early childhood was spent there and he began playing football with his father
when he was younger?
Age of 3. When he was 6 years old, his family moved to Kallinge, Sweden, seeking better opportunities. He developed through the youth systems of several Swedish clubs, including Kallinge SK 2012 to 2015 and Rödeby AIF 2015 to 2018.
Even that Barca
His talent was
sending me right now.
and he joined the academy of Swedish giants Malmö FF in 2019 at the age of 13. He only spent a year there before making a significant move to Danish club FC Copenhagen in 2020 when he was just 15. Bardghji has always been a big fan of FC Barcelona and Lionel Messi, with childhood photos showing him wearing Barcelona kits and his old social media accounts expressing his devotion to the club. Interestingly, Roony Bardghji's most memorable game in his career so far came against Wayne Rooney's former club Manchester United. Some of you are probably...
I remember this game because there was a lot of hype before the game. Oh, there's another player named Roony. He's facing Manchester United. Ended up cooking, to be fair to him.
Trying to remember where you've seen this guy. It's probably from a Champions League game between Copenhagen and Manchester United back in 2023. That game was pure cinema. It had 7 goals, a red card, penalties, comeback upon comeback, everything you could have asked for from a Champions League group game. On top of all of that, a game involving Manchester United announcing a teenager named Roony to the world sounded very poetic. Just 17 years old at the time, Roony came off the bench and played just 27 minutes in that game, but he was one of the best players in that game. He completed the most dribbles of any player in the entire game, completed 89% of his passes, won 100% of his duels, and most importantly, scored the winner in the 87th minute, a beautifully executed half volley from inside the box. That cameo showed the world what this kid is capable of, and everyone who watched him knew he was going to be a star. If you're wondering why you didn't hear of him throughout the 2024-25 season, particularly in the round of 16 Conference League games against Chelsea, it was because he missed almost the entire season due to an ACL injury. He sustained the...
That's going to be the big question mark for him now. Recovering from an ACL, haven't played in about a year. I think he's played a few games, off the bench here and there. Then all of a sudden you're playing for Barcelona, right? It's going to be a big difference, a big change of scenery for him. That's why there's no real rush. There's no real expectations for him whatsoever. And that's probably why his price was relatively on the cheaper side with only 6 months left on his contract.
2024 and was out for 334 days, which meant that he didn't play until March 2025. So there wasn't really much this season to judge him by, but luckily for him, Barcelona had their eyes on him from previous seasons, and all the stuff he had done in those previous years was enough to convince them to bring him over to Catalonia. The kid is immensely talented and has a very high ceiling, and there aren't many environments in world football which are better for young talents than Barcelona. So Roony has certainly chosen the best destination for his budget budding career. First of all, there won't be so much pressure on him to perform, which is great for him, especially coming off a long-term injury. His move cost Barcelona just about €2 million, so there'll certainly be absolutely no pressure from his price tag, none at all. And with Barcelona already in a good place with a blazing attack, there's no pressure on him to hit the ground running. He won't even be in the first team.
Well, I would say there would be not pressure, but a little bit of like expectation of him helping us if we don't sign a left winger. If we don't get a Luis Diaz or Rashford or anybody like that, we're like, you know what, we're gonna trust and give a season the first team to Roony Bardghji. That's where some expectation will come in, especially if he overperforms in preseason and gets a lot of eyes on him. That is when I would say maybe there's a tiny bit of expectation, because at the end of the day, this is Barcelona, right? No matter who you are, no matter where you came from, there is an expectation for you to perform, especially when you're called upon and needed. So that's where maybe things can get a little dicey for him if it reaches that stage, of course.
He's a left-footed player who loves to cut in from the right wing, which means that he will be a Lamine Yamal understudy. And after the just concluded season, this was very much needed. Lamine Yamal played too many games and they just could not rest him because there wasn't a proper replacement. This made a lot of people very fearful for the kid's future. The over-dependence on Lamine Yamal at this young age could lead to a dangerous injury which could ruin his career. So it's great that Barcelona have decided to address this issue early in the transfer window. We're pretty sure the Spaniards' minutes will be better managed next season with the presence of Roony in the squad now. Stylistically, he is the perfect Lamine substitute. Rafinha, Ferran Torres and even Fermin can play on the right wing, but none of them can really dribble as well, and they don't really like to cut in. Roony does and will, so although he may not be as good as Yamal in games where Yamal is unavailable or the coach just chooses to rest him, Roony will be helping Barcelona still take a similar approach to games as when Lamine is playing. Roony can run, can dribble, can create and can score, and at that price tag, Barcelona really cannot go wrong with this signing. This one is an absolute steal. I mean, even if it doesn't exactly work for him at Barcelona because of how good Lamine Yamal is, Barcelona can still sell him in a couple years for a significant profit. And having been on...
That depends on how he does, right? With these kind of moves, sure, you can theoretically sell them for more because they have the Barcelona kind of, stain on them. At the end of the day, it doesn't do much. It won't influence his price whatsoever, especially down the line when his contract, closer running down with maybe 2 or 1 year left on his deal. Loan moves, of course, can definitely rise his stock in that sense, but I wouldn't say it's a guarantee that we're going to recuperate the transfer fee as things, of course, currently stand.
On Barcelona's books, Roony himself will surely be getting big suitors, so this is just a perfect signing all round. Barcelona saw an incredible market opportunity there and decided to jump on it without hesitation, and that's so brilliant. Also, despite being young, Roony already has quite some experience at the top level. He has already played in huge Champions League games against some real European giants like Manchester United, Bayern Munich and Manchester City. He has also won 3 league titles and 2 domestic cups with Copenhagen, while having been named in the Danish Superliga Team of the Month twice. This right here is a proper player. Roony is about to follow in the footsteps of Henrik Larsson and Zlatan Ibrahimovic, who represented Barcelona and the Sweden national team. He'll be hoping to outdo both legends at both club and country. By the way, Roony was born in Kuwait to Syrian parents and only moved to Sweden when he was 6 years old. He still hasn't made his first team debut for any national team, so he actually has a few options when it comes to senior international football, but considering he currently represents the Sweden under-21s, we're pretty certain he'll confirm himself as a Swedish first-team player shortly after his Barcelona debut. But what do you guys think about this signing? Do you agree that this was a truly brilliant signing, or do you think it was a wrong move for the teenager, as he probably won't be able to break into Barcelona's attack and get regular minutes? Tell us what you think in the comments.
I mean, the narrative shouldn't be that he is coming in as a first teamer. I think the narrative should be he's coming in as a talent that has room to grow. I do think overall it's a great move by Barcelona. You are picking up a great talent for a cut price with that ACL injury and with 6 months left on his contract with FC Copenhagen. But Roony Bardghji is a talented player. I mean, the talk about him has been going on now for a few years. It's not some random nobody from like Africa or from like South America that we've never heard of before. This talent is, I wouldn't say worldwide, but is definitely a recognizable name following his performances against United City and Bayern Munich in those European competitions. But I think it would be pretty difficult for him to, be an official first team player. But this is why I'm making this video itself, because I think preseason can definitely dictate that. We go on preseason, he really, shines and has our mouths dropping, like, what Bal Victor did last preseason, what Fermin Lopez did the preseason before. All these things can have implications on his future, especially with preseason being at a bit of a lower level, and you see someone performing and playing at that big level. It can definitely have a narrative and definitely sway your perspective. But of course, in the comments down below, let me know your thoughts. How do you think that Roony Bardghji will fit at Barcelona? Do you think he'll be playing more so predominantly on the right hand side, or maybe on the left? Do you think there's a chance for him to be part of the first team dynamics going into next season, or would you say the best thing for him is to go out on loan to a first division team in Spain and to recuperate more minutes, and of course get back to playing football on a regular basis following that ACL injury, and of course being a team where he can play week in, week out? Leave me your thoughts down in the comments down below. Drop a like if you enjoyed, and subscribe as well if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys next time on the channel. Take care, and Forza Barca.